Did you hear the women of the main event? Like,
well, let's see how this pans out.
Famous kiss of death.
Love you.
I love you.
Because I had titanium reinforcement.
To hear her say that she watched this match.
Her match at WrestleMania.
You really went there? I thought we talked about that before this interview, that we weren't going to, because she gets really mad.
Yeah, I never lost it. Am I the still longest reigning?
Welcome everyone to Ring the Belle. This is DS and oh my god, this is like historic. 20 years ago,
To the day.
History was made.
Who knew?
First ever women's main event on Raw. Trish and Lita, the Hall of Famers, Team Bestie! Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
You had to be a part of this moment because you've been such a supporter of women's wrestling for so long, and we really appreciate all that you do to highlight women's wrestling.
Yeah, I don't think you realize, like, we see these things, these posts, these the polls, the support, and just it really makes a difference because you're putting it out there.
I feel like people have been closet women's wrestling fans, and then they see that like you're allowed to be a women's wrestling fan, and they're like, okay, and then it creates more of a community.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
That's what I'm here for. The 20-year anniversary is so big, and I love the way how you guys teased it with the iconic magazine cover.
Oh, right?
How did that happen?
Oh, well, randomly she was at my house. You know, we always getting content, right? I went into my tickle trunk. Do you guys know what tickle trunk is?
No.
So in Canada, there is a character.
We don't know that.
In Canada, there was a character named Mr. Dress Up, and he would dress up and he'd say, let me go into my tickle trunk, and he'd open this trunk and pull out things. So in Canada, we say that people know, but here, clearly, now you know. So
but you had found them like
sent people like, look what I found, look what I dug out, like, you know, And so I was like, I actually, like, I have them, I know where they are. We should just shoot in the outfits. Just, who knows, whatever. Let's just recreate it
for fun.
Just for fun. It wasn't anticipation of this.
And we've been sitting on those photos for a while.
Those were shot a couple years ago. No, a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's so dramatic.
I love how the Diva fans, like the moment you guys like put the ankles in there, we're like, we know what it is. Like right away.
But we were worried. We're like, is it enough of the tease? Are they going to even remember?
They're going to be like, oh, what is this random foot?
Are they starting an OnlyFans?
Maybe. Stay tuned.
I mean, let's take this moment to really talk about this historic match. Till this day, people still talk about this match, which is wild.
No kidding.
It's almost like because we talk about it so much, we're like, okay, let's talk about something else. But today we're going to talk about this match because it has historic importance.
Yeah.
Let's go to the beginning. How did you first find out that this match is going to be main event? Was this something that you guys knew going into it? Okay.
I can tell you that as females, there was no like, hey, one day we're going to lead towards this. Absolutely not. I don't even think they would have thought one day we're going to put them. I think it was only a moment. I think the feud was, everything sort of was in the right place, right time thing, right? The fuse were where it was.
We lucked out that it was the week before a pay-per-view, which always can be tricky of what matches are going to be on the card because you can't have the pay-per-view match on the Raw.
Yeah, the go-home week,
I think that opened up a spot for us.
The hometown girl.
Hometown girl.
So what was your reaction when you first realized it?
Mine was like I had built up this mentality of don't get excited, it's not going to happen, something's going to change, it's okay, you know. And so,
and as you know, we all read it that like this was happening and that got cut and get changed, and so you never invest too much into something, especially something like you're like, there's no way, you know what I mean? There's no way, and a lot of it we did think it was a rib. We thought. Like we could literally picture like
what would make their whole
like
year.
How funny.
Let's
like
tease them.
They actually bought that they would be the main event. That's how like ridiculous the thought seemed at the time, right?
Yeah. The backstage reaction when it was first announced, like what was it like? Were people like coming to like congratulating you guys?
The girls were, in the locker room and stuff, but not necessarily. Maybe some of the closer guys,
or like they do like a main event, huh? Like one of those, right? Yeah.
But then after, it was cool. Like, there's a lot of the guys and stuff all in gorilla position.
Do you think it was because they couldn't quite commit? Like, they might not.
They
might not pull it off, you know? But could have been a lot of that. And even, like, so when we were traveling together, kayfabe, and so we walked in together, and we were getting this weird vibe. People were, like, kind of looking at us and, like, and we're like, what is that? What is this? What is that? You know? And then like something felt up. Something was up for sure. And that's what it was. People knew. Some people had seen the board already. And so basically that was kind of, no one wanted to tell us until it was told to us.
Got it.
And we said Michael Hayes, right, was the first one who told us.
I was one of the first to find out. I was in the production meeting, and when I got told, and when I saw those sheets, that said it, that they were going to be main eventing Raw, I about jumped out of my seat. Seriously, I had the biggest smile. I was so happy because you have to understand during that time as well, The women weren't always featured in every episode. I mean, sometimes I was the only one to come out in the entire show. So to find out that they were going to main event the show.
And I remember when the girls in the locker room were being excited, it was almost like I was like, shut up, like, because I'm just like I'm like, it might not happen, or like don't jinx it, or
don't jinx it,
like I still just couldn't be excited for it until
it was happening.
Until it was happening. Yeah.
Oh, this is okay. We're going.
So let's talk about how it actually started.
Can I help you something?
It's funny how they started with this like random.
Is it random though, or is it well placed?
Like even in this historic moment, they did
right.
that.
We're still doing that. Right.
Yeah.
But see how offended I am by that.
Yep. And then the famous kiss of death.
Yes.
Started out hot even before the match started. Whose idea was that?
Not ours. Not to kiss. Did not. Not that I wouldn't kiss. Like, I'm not saying I
Love you.
I love you. I'm just saying I didn't think we needed a kiss to kick this main event match off. But in this, it worked.
It got gay guys in, straight guys
all
in,
of girls,
y'all, everything.
all of y'all.
Combined. Let's start with the first yes or no.
Oh.
Yes or no answer here.
Okay.
So the gears that you guys wore in this match literally got immortalized for 20 years. Any time did you ever regret wearing the gear that you wore there? What?
Oh, I was the same one. I thought it was
No.
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 Okay.
I like my gear.
I like my gear. So gear's a big deal, especially these days. If you know, back in the day, it wasn't as I don't know, decorative. Like people go all out these days. Back in the day, we're just like, it's a fit. Let's go, right? So good thing it's not smell-o-vision. I'll start off by saying that because we had just done the runner of house shows. And so we'd worn just this. It was just a go-to outfit, a comfy. It worked well, kind of our character, everything. So and I remember going, oh my god, like we felt like, should we do something special for this? And then we realized, you know what? We literally stopped and said, the outfit is not important. Like we actually do not care. We're not spending any more energy on it, and it's just about the match, and we focus on the match.
Yeah, and so we wanted to intentionally, take that off our plates.
Yep.
And I know I can think of a specific match when like the sides of your gear were coming apart. It's like if you try to go get something made really quickly and new gear, it's like you might be like messing with it.
And then you're rushing to fittings. It's like, so we're like, we're going to take that away.
Because we didn't have a lot of time, we're like, let's just take that off our plates. We know that gear, we were comfortable in it, and it worked well all weekend long. Let's just wear that and be done with that.
Yep.
And then focus on the in-ring work.
I love that. Again, like this gear was on every game ever, and the fans were like, not that gear again.
Yes. Oh, yes. Finally, they did a little shift, but yes. But it's great. You know?
Let's talk about the scorpion spot.
Yeah.
Because that was the highlight of it all. The crowd was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But you didn't feel anything at the time, I heard.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting, as I hear a lot with younger fans that weren't around for the first time that match happened, they're like, that's when you broke your neck. And I'm like, oh, no.
She gets it all the time. Yeah.
I had already been broken. But, maybe it's because I had titanium reinforcement.
I'm always like, it's the yoga. Thank God she did the yoga. But also could be the titanium reinforcement.
The stratosphere yoga you did together.
Yes, of course.
I felt it, and I was like a little sore the next day.
Like you knew for sure, like those legs they overextended. Like you could feel that.
I was fine. Yeah.
Well, we have to figure out who this guy is.
Oh my! I was thinking about that guy
to come forward
today. He
Sir.
didn't, watching the match when I was like going to watch the spot leading up to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, and there's this guy.
There's the guy, and then
jumps
there's
up,
the guy.
and he didn't see it. He didn't see it happen.
He didn't see the scorpion.
He
No.
missed a historic moment.
Yes.
Everybody else saw it.
He's just like, I'm on TV, and he's like, everyone's going, oh, he's like, what happened?
I wish they would have kept. I would have liked to see the camera when it happened, because you heard the crowd, how quick he whipped his neck back around.
For sure. So purple lay guy, is that a lace ring?
Purple A.
Purple A?
If you're around, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We're
looking for you.
But another person that was in the crowd, though, Charlotte Flair.
Oh, I was like,
She had the ticket hookup right
look
there.
at that. Yeah. She must have someone, huh?
The fact that the Queen was here.
It's amazing. I honestly, and to hear her say that she watched this match and then she was like, yeah, that's something that I could see myself doing. But you had a great point. We've known, we've seen Ashley since she was young, right? So she would be Rick's daughter. We'd see her, and we saw her grow up, and we saw her. She was very athletic, and then she played volleyball, and so that's what the thing was. Is Rick was like, yeah, she wants to play.
She's not into wrestling. She's going to do volleyball.
Not to say we were the spark for Charlotte Flair.
I mean, her dad could have had something to do with it as well.
But. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
What was so noteworthy about this match is that you guys knew each other's move like instantly that the back and forth was so wild. But I'm curious, like, what are one of your favorite moves of each other?
Like to take, to watch?
I always like to take your spine buster.
Okay, yeah. I like taking your moonsault because I just lay there. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty, I know exactly where I need to be to take a good one. Like, she'll never overshoot because I will, like, scoop my body over. I will get it. I'll in the air, I'm like, all right, over here, yeah.
Have you ever tried doing moonsault?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
I mean, there was a mat under me,
Oh, okay.
so good. I didn't get a 3 count after it, you know.
The last sequence of this match was just like, you guys are
Intense.
going 100 miles. This is just like magic right here.
Look at us getting lost. I'm like, wow, this is...
Well, what I really love watching it, honestly, and thinking about it, because we did know each other so well, no part of me was thinking, where do I need to be for your moves? We knew how to take each other's moves,
Yeah.
so we could focus on telling the story that we want this title and making it look like a fight, as opposed to a dance or a, you know, kind
like
of pretty.
it
looked gritty.
Pretty transition between moves. We were just literally in the moment as fighters fighting for the moment.
That was almost in the same category as the gear, right?
Oh,
We're like,
yeah.
take the gear off our table. I know when you touch me here what move you're setting up for. I know how to set up for that. So I don't have to think about that. I want to convey, I really want this title. It means a lot to me.
It's a blessing. It's a luxury to have that, to work with someone like when you have that, where you don't have to think those other extraneous things and can really literally be right in the moment. It's very rare and it's really special when you get it.
And then when you were climbing up that corner for the moonsault.
Oh no! Why? Look at the goosebumps I get. It's because, you know.
Do you remember the feeling of that?
Yeah. I mean, even that whole go home sequence, I remember being like, it's working.
Yes.
Like they believe it. They really
Yeah.
don't know who's gonna win, and then hitting that and knowing, you know, yes, I like to take your moves, but I love doing the moonsault too because it's fun for me, and when I'm upside down and I can see the person, I don't know how I took to it, but it's very easy. Like it feels very, like I feel the most free, you know,
Liberating,
doing
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
I was just like, oh, and now for the easy part, you know, the grand finale, and I was like, oh, we got him, you know, like.
It was a good feeling to be there, like knowing that we came this far. And there was stuff along the way. We were cut on time. There was stuff that happened during the match that were like, ooh, I mean, could have been bad. We could have stopped after that suicide dive. Could have been like the end. Who knows, right? So like when we were at that point and we were like, we're going home. Like it felt like we're going home, you know?
Yeah.
And we were just rewatching this match. There's a reason why people are calling this magic, because everything worked. Your chemistry worked. The crowd was so into it. The commentary, you could tell when they're so into the match.
Yeah.
And they were so into the match.
Yeah.
So I want to know what happened afterwards when you guys went back. What was the reaction backstage?
Standing ovations and like the gorilla position, which is, I would say, a rare thing, but very, very special, you know, to have all your colleagues there. And, you know, because it was big, we knew, I mean, okay, we pulled it off, that's one thing, right? But if we knew, I mean, maybe they realized what this meant. Women were main eventing, then they pulled it off. You know, it was a big deal that night.
And I do think, like what you had said earlier, like possibly the guys were like, well, let's see how this pans out. I don't, you know.
I can picture a couple of the guys being like, "Did you hear the women of the main event?" Like, it's like.
But then I think that those same guys were
Yeah.
in gorilla position
100%.
after the match. Like, all right, I got to give it to you.
Yes.
You know.
One thing that we're always like, oh, this never happened, is that there was no WrestleMania singles match.
True.
But this has been a rampant rumor for years.
Oh, do
20
tell.
years, I guess. Is that you guys were supposed to have a one-on-one ladder match at WrestleMania. Yes or no? Let's go with that. Yes
I
or
mean,
no?
when you don't know when I'm not believing that we're going to be in the main event that day, I for
Imagine
sure
us, yeah.
am not believing that, you know, there was any validity to the rumor. That would have made sense, right?
Yes.
With being with all the TLC matches and
the
kind
history
of our
going back from us,
history.
But like the WrestleMania match was that was where we were working towards it. Like, you know, as of January, you know, WrestleMania season began in January. We were working towards a WrestleMania match.
Oh, well, you know, I'm really interested in this friendship because you guys are like so different. You guys are like Linda and Alphaba, like yin and yang. I'm curious, like, how did this friendship like work? Because you guys are such
I think that's
different
why.
Yeah.
Because
people.
exactly why. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, look, regardless of our personalities, we have a bond due to our work environment in the beginning. So we both started at the same time. We got on the phone before we even started. I'm like, so what, have you been training? What did they tell you? When are you coming? you know?
Just trying to, like, between the two of us, get any
Navigate this-
information. And like,
navigate this world. We go there. We're same week. We're flown in. We have no idea what to do. We don't know anything about etiquette. We're trying to what do we do? Bow here? What do we say thank you to everybody? We shake their hands. So we navigated all that together. And then, of course, being the feud from day one, literally, we're in a feud from day one.
Right.
So we have that bond. Anyway, you do have that bond with whenever you work with someone, you have that something, you know? But then, just a friendship that grew because we went through it all together. But we grew up together. Think about it. We started at 24 years old. We're just kids on the road. We couldn't even rent a car, you know? And we're just like, and then we grew up and turned into young women on the road, right?
I feel like you guys have influenced each other a lot because you talked about how you were swearing when you were coming out in this match. Did you see when Trish was like, "Shut the f*** up" to a fan?
I didn't say that.
Heard about it.
That was Trish Stratus, the heel. I didn't. I honestly, I must have had an outer body experience. I swear.
You're like always so
PR and
like together.
That's where like, wait, what?
I was.
You're always like in and inside my head. I was thinking, shut the f up. I was like, whoops.
I don't even swear like on my socials. Like I'm like F asterisk. Like you're saying is her influence because my bestie has such a foul mouth.
What was your reaction?
I had to bring a piece of her to the ring. No, she didn't even see it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
I remember hearing that after the match, like, oh, that thing you did before the match went viral. I was like, what? First of all, I was concussed, so I didn't know what match. But like, I had no. I was so in the moment that I did not remember that moment. And I was like, huh? And I saw it back. I'm like, I did that. Like, I really didn't even think I did that. Me? No, it was all me.
Speaking of our recent run, it's a yes or no time.
Oh.
Is there an unfinished business between two of you guys?
Oh,
what do we say?
He really went there? I thought we talked about that before this interview, that we weren't going to, because she gets really mad at these things and it gets all bottled up and she swears at me and stuff.
Because your tag team championship.
What? Oh.
Am I the still longest reigning tag team?
Never lost?
Yeah, I never lost it.
I never lost my women's championship either, I'm just saying. If we're talking about long reigns. Okay. Are you starting something here?
I feel like there's some
I feel like
unfinished,
it's getting hot in here.
unfinished business here.
Okay.
Because we all want the WrestleMania match, or were you just mad that you weren't the tag team champion with Lita?
That's it. I was like, Becky who? What?
Why did you take Becky out then?
You were easier to sneak attack because you trusted me. Ooh, I said it.
Two of you also have other commonalities.
Do we? Tell us.
Yes, because both of you had rumors about being in a certain NXT match.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah? Tell us.
wait.
Together? Us? Wait. Oh.
So you had a rumor about being in a match with Asuka for one of the NXT takeovers.
Yeah, because it was in Toronto.
Yeah.
But that's an obvious, it's gonna, you know what I mean? I think people do the go-to.
Okay.
Toronto, certainly Trish will be involved. Certainly, it's Toronto.
It was just like a speculation.
It was.
And then there was a speculation about the return of Miss Congeniality
What?
for the NXT ECW show.
Oh.
Have you heard of
That would have been a good fit.
That would have been neat. Yeah.
Two queens of extreme in one building.
We need that Queen of Extreme match.
I'm with an X. She's with an E.
Oh, you're right. Well, I am so honored that I'm here doing this interview with two of you because literally the legends, the pioneer of this industry. What do you think one thing about each other that really contributed to your success?
That's a really good question.
That is an
We're
excellent
gonna need
question.
a moment. We need to talk about this. Yes, the end. No, I think I think what works for us is we know who we are. And we always try to put forth our most genuine, authentic self. And so I think that works for us when we're out there. Like we knew what Lita brought. We were very in tune with our characters.
I think I would just say like with you, I could count on you.
Yeah.
Like as my friend, but also as your character.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we complemented each other behind the scenes and in the ring.
Yeah.
So just having that as the foundation, it just
We
takes
are
off so much
unstoppable.
stress. Like
With
going
that,
in there.
we are unstoppable.
Yeah, that's a better close.
So I usually do the closing things.
Okay, I'll
She
do it.
swears a lot, and then the funny thing, ironically, like I do a bit of a. I'm a trucker.
You know what? I was listening to you say, you kept saying holy smoke. So I was like, oh, this is a new one you're saying. That
Really?
You say in front of your children. Yes.
Was I doing that?
Yeah, you're like, I just kept thinking, holy smokes. And I'm like,
Is this on the phone? You're just saying when I'm talking? Just
No,
normal?
earlier tonight.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for giving this
What?
time.
This is not over. We have so much more to talk about.
we're going to do the out better. Okay. I just think that because, I could trust her, not only as a friend inside the ring, but outside the ring as well. It just
made us unstoppable.
made us unstoppable.
Yeah.
What do you want to tell the fans that we still talk about your match 20 years later? You guys really touched our lives. It's a really special moment for all of us.
It's hard to come up with the words. I have two. You're welcome.
Thank you, Trish.
No, it's very special to us. It's not lost on us. Having the event to celebrate and seeing the fans come out and have that moment with us, and then just being on social and seeing other people,
say what it means. And like, I would have never thought when we retired just so close to each other, but then here we are still doing things. I would have never, ever thought we would have stepped back in the ring so many times. And I think it's because of the support of the fans.
Yeah.
And the fact that we feel good still.
Yeah.
but the support of the fans makes you go, yeah, why not? Like, let's go do this one more program or one more match. And
the cool thing is to see like what we're loving, and we discuss this all the time when we do these tours and autograph sessions, is meeting people and seeing saying the dad or the mom saying we grew up watching you, which makes us feel old, and then they and
maybe
now
pass it down.
Yeah, and my kids are watching you, and we're like getting goosebumps. It's really like special that we know we've affected it generationally. And to do that together, and we're still doing it, and it's very cool. And so even for having us here today, thank you for acknowledging the moment, and it really means a lot.